One of the many controversies from this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix has been McLaren's decision to invert the drivers, in their own words, during the latter stages of the Grand Prix. And it's fair to say that the Formula One paddock and the Formula One fans and the Formula One world in general is quite divided on the issue. So I just thought I'd have a look through what people's opinions are and give my take on this as a McLaren fan as well. They are my team. Although I do try and stay as neutral as possible for you guys, of course. But when it comes to this, I want to give my take on it as well. So let me just read out this article here on the F1Chronicle.com. If you guys do want to check it out, the link will be in the description, of course, as always. It goes into far more detail than I can on this 5-minute video. But yeah, so a milestone 1-2 victory for McLaren in Hungary ended in high controversy after Lando Norris admitted almost rejecting a repeated team order to let Oscar Piastri take the checkered flag first. The order came because McLaren had pitted pole sitter Norris first, even though Piastri, who after the pit stop was behind his teammate, had controlled the race from the start. So yeah, basically, Norris got on pole position, he started in first place obviously, Piastri got a better start at the start of the race and overtook Norris for P1. Norris actually fell back to P3, but then eventually got second place back because Max Verstappen handed that place back because Verstappen overtook off the track. But they were basically holding, I mean, I'll probably say this later in the article, but you know, they were basically wanting to cover off Sir Lewis Hamilton, who was in third place. But I've had a look at this since then. I already did a reaction and explained a video for why McLaren swapped their positions. But I've had a look at the race again. I didn't realise at the time that Hamilton was about 10 seconds or so behind Norris. Now, the undercut is powerful around a track like Hungary because it was so hot and tyre wear was relatively high. I mean, it was a 2-stop race, something that we don't see that often in Formula One these days. But yeah, the overall pace of Hamilton was good, but it would have took him like 5-6 laps to even get close to Lando Norris, not 1 or 2. So McLaren covering off Hamilton like that, I think was very, very cautious, to be honest. I'm surprised they did it in a sense, but that was the reason they gave anyway. It's sort of understandable, but for me personally, I'm not so sure. But Andrea Stella, the team principal of McLaren, said the following: "I didn't want us to fall behind a Mercedes or Ferrari, like what happened to Max Verstappen." And to be fair, that did happen to Max Verstappen. And that did end up ruining his race, and he did that to himself, of course, with that incident. And again, I've already done the video on that incident about him feeling the pressure and everything in Formula One right now, so check that out if you've not already, of course. But Blick newspaper, who I believe are German, said, "Norris robbed of Hungary victory. McLaren invents a problem." That's what the Spanish newspaper AS said as well. Former Red Bull driver Robert Dornbos, wow, that's a blast from the past, I forgot he drove for Red Bull, even hit out Lando Norris, who earlier in the weekend had already faced criticism that he is too nice to ever be a champion. "I don't know how far you get by being a gentleman," Dornbos said to Ziggo Sport, who are a Dutch broadcaster. "And that means you're not a killer. He doesn't have the killer instincts. The team messes it up and then he has to clean up the mess." So he's kind of reverted what he said there by saying that, you know, it's, too much of a nice guy image, but then again, he's standing up for himself. The guy can't win. Ferrari's Carlos Sainz, however, commented, "From what I've just been told, they did what had to be done. If they gave a free undercut to your teammate, they have to give it back. It's something that in the past not all teams have done." Fred Vasseur, who's the boss of Ferrari, said the decision in the first place was a bit harsh on Piastri, then they took a decision that I understand. Before eventually giving the lead back to Piastri, Norris complained on the radio saying, "I'm fighting for a world championship here." Emma Kymäläinen, who's a female racing driver, said on Viaplay, who's another Dutch broadcaster, "What on earth are McLaren doing? Max Verstappen is 76 points ahead of Norris in the World Championship, so theoretically the only driver who can beat Verstappen is Norris. Why would they maximise his points? Sorry, why wouldn't they maximise his points? Secondly, he was the faster driver." I mean, yeah, it's a split issue. There's more quotes in here than I can go through in this video as allowed in terms of time. For me personally, I think McLaren did the right thing. But if you're thinking from a selfish Norris point of view, potentially, if you're just like, right, Norris needs to get the Drivers' World Championship, then of course they should have kept the positions as they were. But from a fairness point of view, I think it's the right thing to do. At the end of the day, McLaren's actions meant that Piastri was behind Lando Norris. Norris got the undercut, so Piastri suffered because of that. Normally, Piastri, as the lead driver, should have got the better pit strategy. And there will come times during this season, particularly in the latter stages of the season, if not, McLaren and Norris keep winning, and if Red Bull and Verstappen don't keep winning, there come times when Piastri may well have to repay the favour. And we saw what happens when teammates don't get on and don't play ball with team orders. We saw that with Aston Martin this weekend with Alonso. He was fuming at that. So I absolutely think McLaren did the right thing. But what's your guys' take? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, like I said, check out this article if you've not already. Much more quotes than I can go to in this video. I've already overrun. You know how it is. And of course, keep it subscribed, like, follow, ring the bell, all that good stuff to the F1chronicle.com for much more video content just like this.